Best dock for shallow water. Shallow water creates some of the trickiest dock situations a lake homeowner can face, and the challenge gets even more complicated when you factor in drought conditions, because shallow water can get even shallower in a dry year. Today I'm going to walk you through the best dock options for shallow water shorelines and show you how to think through this decision the right way. I'm PJ from Panavale Docks. Let's get into it. Fixed docks are built on pilings, vertical posts driven into the lake bottom that support the dock structure above. In shallow water, this works well. The pilings don't need to be as long, the structure is simpler. And because the dock surface is fixed at a set height above the water, you don't have the grounding problem you'd face with the floating dock. Fixed docks with pilings can be installed in water up to 30 feet deep, but shallow water is actually where they shine. Short pilings, solid footing, straightforward construction. The trade-off, and this is the big one for shallow water, is what happens when water levels drop further. If your lake is already shallow and you're in a drought year, that fixed dock might end up sitting well above the water line. Access becomes difficult, and in extreme cases, the lake bottom around your pilings can be exposed, which can affect the structural integrity of the installation over time. The drought problem. This is a shallow water challenge that catches people off guard. Let's say your lake averages about 3 feet of water at your shoreline. You install a fixed dock, it works fine in a normal year. Then a dry summer hits. The lake drops another 1.5 feet. Now you're in 18 inches of water. Your dock is sitting high. Getting in and out of a kayak or small boat is awkward. A larger boat can't even get close without risk of hitting the bottom. And this isn't hypothetical. Drought conditions affect lakes all across the country. In some regions, it's almost an annual reality. So for shallow water situations, the question isn't what the water looks like today, it's what it looks like in the driest year on record. That worst case scenario is what your dock must be designed for. So what are your options? For shallow water, fixed dock with adjustable height pilings. Some fixed dock systems allow the deck height to be adjusted on the pilings. This gives you some ability to adapt to changing water levels without replacing the whole dock. It's not as flexible as a floating system, but it's better than a fully fixed height. Floating dock with extended gangway. In some shallow water situations, a floating dock can still work, but only if there's enough water depth to keep it floating, even in the worst drought conditions. The trick is extending the gangway further out from shore to reach deeper water, where the floating dock can operate safely. This means a longer walk from shore to the dock, but it keeps the floating system viable. Pipe dock systems. These are a popular shallow water solution. The dock sits on legs, pipes that rest directly on the lake bottom, rather than pilings driven into the bottom. The dock surface is supported above the water on those legs. Many pipe dock systems are seasonal. You put them in when the wet season starts and pull them out before winter. They work well in shallow, protected water, and they're often more affordable than a permanent piling system. Crib docks. In very shallow water, some homeowners use crib docks, structures built on a foundation of rocks or other heavy material placed on the lake bottom. These are extremely solid and stable, but they're permanent, and regulations around them vary significantly by state and lake. You'll want to check into your local permitting requirements carefully before going this route. Here's something shallow water homeowners often discover too late. Shallow water shorelines frequently have more permitting restrictions than deeper water installations, not fewer. Why? Shallower water areas are often ecologically sensitive. Wetland buffers, fish spawning areas, protected vegetation zones. Your local or state environmental agency, and sometimes the Army Corps of Engineers, may have specific rules about what you can build, how far out you could extend, and what materials you could use. Get your permitting research done before you design anything. What looks like a simple shallow water dock project can get complicated fast if you're in a regulated shoreline zone. This is another area where having independent engineering guidance before you start talking to manufacturers can save you a serious headache. So summary, fixed docks generally work better than floating docks in truly shallow water, but design for your worst case drought conditions, not your average year. Pipe dock systems are a practical and often affordable solution for shallow protected shorelines. Extended gangways can sometimes make floating docks viable if deeper water is reachable from your shoreline. And always check your permitting regulations before you design anything. Shallow water zones often come with more restrictions than people expect. The right answer for your specific shoreline depends on your water depth, your seasonal fluctuation range, your lake bottom composition, and your local regulations. I hope this helped you understand the challenges of putting docks in shallow waters. Situations like this is exactly what I help lake homeowners figure out before they make a very expensive decision. If you'd like a free lake dock homeowners guide and a dock inspection checklist, scan the QR code. And I'll see you in the next video.